starting to stink. Monitor shows that I'm back. So I think we're back. How's the sound? Oh, oh, welcome. You guys can hear me? Is it choppy? Or how was it going? Does it sound good? So welcome to Shamanic Journeys, episode 6. There we go. One, but I think I'm just over loading it with all the buttons.
You're still super choppy. You're freezing. Interference! Interference! Clear the interference.
Hey,
You're still choppy.
there
You sound like an automatron.
I am again. Can you guys see me now?
I can see
How
you,
was
but
the
you're
journey?
choppy. I can see you, you're choppy, and you're still breaking up, so.
Or did- on a journey. All right, let's see if we can get Deanna on.
You're breaking up bad, brother. I'm trying to decode it, but I can't tell what you're saying. No, it's just me all by myself. Where'd you go, Aaron? Hello. Yep, that's just me up there. Hello. Peace. Yep, that's just me up there. Hello. Oh, and now I'm on my phone. Okay. Technical difficulties. Okay, so it looks like we're having technical difficulties at this moment, so please bear with Aaron. He's lost in the ether somewhere at the moment, and he wants me to host the show. So we'll see how that goes. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about today, but from what it looks like, the world is still in confusion and chaos at the moment. Sorry, my fan is blowing my hair everywhere. So I've never hosted a live YouTube show before, so this should be interesting. And I hope Aaron pops on super quick. This is a journey for sure. So just give us a few minutes, or a minute, or 1 minute, or 2 minutes. Okay. So I'm just going to follow my intuition here and start out by saying that things are pretty rocky right now, everywhere, obviously. And I'm seeing a huge uptick and people awakening and seeing for themselves what's going on, which is really good news. I feel really bad for folks that are super emotionally involved and are in fear regarding issues with the masks and, you know, the event that's going on right now. But I have a feeling that things are going to start coming out, and people are going to start seeing, you know, for themselves that a lot of the theories that were coming out are not as crazy as some may have thought. I don't, you know, I'm not sure if we're going to be talking about the current issues that are going on in the world or not. We'll see when Aaron gets on here. This is a huge test for me because I have really bad stage fright, so I appreciate your patience. And if I happen to stutter or act silly, that is why. I'm not used to the live video thing. Pretty reclusive person. So thank you for your patience. But hey, you know, we're all in this together, right? So let me see what Aaron's doing. And if you guys are commenting, I can't see your comments either. So I don't know if anybody's saying anything. I can't respond to you. Maybe if anyone's watching, comment, ask a question so that I know that you can even see me or are even watching. Okay, let's see what he has to say. See what I'm doing here. I don't even know if anyone's watching, like I said, so I could be totally talking to myself. I think a lot of the stuff that's going on right now is really going to help people get in touch with their, you know, their basic intuition if they weren't already, honestly. I mean, yay, I think Aaron's coming on. Okay. Okay. And hopefully he is able to connect and get on here. I'm trying to communicate.
There we go.
Yay. There he is.
Yeah, did I make it back? Sorry, guys.
So far.
A complete, just, you know, it was like a complete, my computer just said, nope. It's like we're doing better here now.
And, so far, yes.
So what's going on? What you guys all been talking about while I was gone?
As far as I know, I was talking to myself. I don't know. I can't see if anybody's commenting or anything. So
You're talking to a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people here right now.
Ooh, well, howdy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just trying to. I didn't know what you wanted to talk about, so I was just.
Are you?
Huh? I don't know if you're frozen or you just stopped talking.
Go ahead. No, there's a little bit of a delay. So once you talk,
Okay.
So basically what I wanted to talk about is just, I think it can be kind of an AMA this time. So we can talk about a lot of healthy, like holistic ways of eating, things that, you know, kind of, I would like you to explain like some of the things you've done just with your diet or your husband's diet. Tell me about these things before, just the healthy eating, how to keep that good immune system, or just, you know, healing cells, period. Like, can you explain that a little bit more or expound on it?
Yeah, I would love to. I'll start with an experience that I had that my husband had. He ended up with a horrible skin condition. It was triggered by a double dose of high antibiotics for a misdiagnosis of a staph infection, actually. It triggered, I want to say, it triggered like a cytokine storm inside of his body. He ended up with very stiff skin on his hands and feet. How it began. Then his skin began to turn red and purple. They thought it was psoriasis. Then he ended up with a fever of 105 for 3 days. And from that point, the fever went away. His skin began to peel, daily, peel off in chunks. He went to the doctor, they did a biopsy, they diagnosed him with one of the rarest autoimmune diseases on the planet and told him that he would have to take a very strong biologic medication that, as we all know, they destroy your liver, and among other things. And he decided that he was going to approach it, and this is a family thing. We had to become a team, it was extremely it was devastating for him, for my kids, for me, to watch him go through that. He was in extreme pain all the time, 24/7. He could barely take a shower because the minute he was in the shower, it felt great, but the minute he would get out, it felt like he had fire ants eating him constantly. So psychologically, it was bearable almost.
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
Mm-hmm. And they told him, by the way, that once he started this medication, that it would maybe go into remission within 3 to 5 years. And they suggested counseling. They have support groups for this particular disease. And he said, no, I'm gonna go the natural path. I'm gonna do energy medicine. I'm gonna do meditation. I'm gonna change my diet. And within 3 months, he put it into remission. That was over 3 years ago, and he has not had a flare up since. And this was something that's supposed to be a constant thing. The approach that we took was, it was a touch and go thing, with an 80-20 raw food cooked diet, the completely raw. And this is like, I've come to find out, this is a individual thing with people that are become raw vegan. Some people it's really not good for, and with others it resonates. For me, it did not resonate. It helped him detox the system well enough so that he was able to put this into remission. He's since added back lean meats, grain, stuff like that. But meditation and energy work, I have to say, played probably the biggest part in his healing, because one thing that we came to understand is that whenever he would get frustrated or angry, it would flare up almost immediately. His hands would start getting hot. He would start itching. His forearms would start itching. And so we realized that the key trigger was stress, which I feel like is huge in a lot of people,
It's big. Yeah, it plays a much bigger part than most people want to give it credit for. That's for sure. I agree.
Yeah, and he's a business owner. He's an entrepreneur. He has many businesses, and he somehow managed to maintain a very successful contracting business during his recovery, which I don't even know how he did it. He's Superman, if you ask me. But yeah, I want to say like the key ingredient was stress management, meditation, emotional responsibility. In a sense, acknowledging his emotions was huge during this for him. If he was angry, he had to understand why was he angry. Like not just like, oh, I'm angry. Like why I'm angry.
Right.
And he literally
actually explore the feeling.
Right.
And where it came from.
Right. It was like a huge awakening for him. Both of us were alcoholics. The 4th of July was 19 years for both of us sober. And that was like the first part of our awakening was, learning how to cope without a Band-Aid all the time. You really have to look at your emotional triggers, and I mean, it's definitely shadow work.
Right.
But as far as healing and cell health, it really began for him, which is one of the most intense healings I've ever experienced, for somebody, where it begins inside of you. You can go to as many healers as you want, or doctors, but if you aren't being responsible or taking accountability for what is going on inside you, it's going to be really hard to find healing. And that's what he discovered. Um, um, balance is definitely key. And since then, it's almost instant. When he comes upon a stressful moment or feels out of balance in his body, he really listens to the red flags that his body is showing him physically. He pays attention to his emotions, his triggers, all of that. And in regards to healing and cell health, I can't say that. It is critical. I mean, we may look like a single person walking around, but in reality, we're trillions. Oh, no. Yeah, we're trillions of.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds. We're a whole universe within ourselves.
Exactly.
Really, literally.
Yeah. Yes,
we carry a lot of living things on us that actually do some pretty amazing things, working in unison with us, and those they're there to protect us. And that's, some are out there to protect us, and some are attack us. But yeah, it's important to have that immunity, throughout anything. I mean, especially during what's going on right now. I mean, we want to make sure that we keep our immunity up, but also our mental and our mental health plays a big part.
It does.
And that fear that keeps being thrown at people it's actually making us sicker. It's actually making us more ill. And you know what? I'm pretty strong, and I can see for things for what they are, forest for the trees, right? To a certain extent. I don't know it all, of course not. But I pay enough attention to know there's something to this, but I also pay enough attention to know that there's so much fear being thrown at people, like we don't know that things are dangerous. Like we don't know about dangerous things that we need to be told constantly.
Yeah.
That right there, it's working in, and we've talked about this before, but it's working, it's counterproductive to health and to healing, and to attack others for having a certain different opinion on something. And I'm seeing a lot of it. It's causing a lot of discontent. It's causing a lot of separation. It's it's upsetting me.
And me too.
Because I'm seeing how easily people are led by one thing going on when there's so many other things going on that are more horrible.
Yes.
To tell you, they really are.
Yes,
they really are. They are more horrible. But we don't pay attention to that because, the news has put this on our doorstep. Of course, there's something going around. However, there are way more deadly things that are going on right now that we're not paying attention to, because we keep seeing that. Let's hit that root chakra, right? Let's go right to the primal. If you ever notice, those graphics are red, right? They're red at you. That's the primal. That's sparking. That color sparks something. The music that they play in the background sparks something, and they're hitting certain nerves with you. So this can be a placebo. You can actually, by that fear, you can cultivate a poltergeist of illness.
Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. Yeah, you can completely manifest, like a PK manifestation of illness. You can attack yourself from the inside out. No issue. As humans, and those that appear to be governing us, they are 100% appear to be.
That's about as far as they go.
They are 100% aware and have very elite professionals who have deep degrees and mental melding and psychological
Yes.
manipulation and influencing, and
Yes.
everything that you see on the TV, your phones, the things that they are feeding teenagers. They target kids with their devices, their apps.
Yeah.
They're programming everybody
Yeah.
on pretty intricate levels, and it's becoming very apparent. The side effects of it are pretty extreme, and I'm really surprised at the well, no, I'm not. I'm not surprised at the people that don't see it, because those are the ones that have been influenced to such a degree that they live in a state of like cloaked reality that
Yeah.
is based on fear and
Well, isn't that what an abuser does? They give you
yeah.
something really scary, or they intimidate you with something and keep holding that over your head so they
Yeah.
have control.
Hmm.
So they throw out that fear at you. They
Hmm.
keep you in fear. They keep you terrified because they're the only ones that can help you, right?
Exactly.
You
And then
can't help
they
yourself. No,
right.
no, no. We don't want to be
No.
self-sufficient in our healing, right?
No.
I mean,
Mm-mm,
obviously,
no.
I'm being
No.
sarcastic.
I know. Naughty, naughty.
Yeah.
No self-awareness. Okay. Like that would just take them down like a
Yeah. Well,
tumbling
that's the
tower.
problem right now. I mean, just recently my daughter got me into TikTok, and yeah, there's a bad side and a good side to everything, right?
Hmm.
But I'm
Right.
seeing in TikTok there's a lot of love and unity being shared on that,
Oh yeah.
and not as much of the hate, but more of the positive energy and more of the positive aspects of life, and how to deal more with the negative. Some people are utilizing it, you know, in their own self artistic expression, and
Hmm.
that's when I've had premonitions in the past when I was younger about when people start to express themselves in an artistic in their artistic way, and then they're in their own way. That's when you'll start to see the world change. And I think
Exactly.
that, paired with a lot of other things, is spreading that awareness.
Hmm.
So to counter that, let's put fear. Let's put that red color out in
Right.
your face. Get you primal. Get you in that primal, instinctive, you
Hmm.
know, kind of way to where you're
Hmm.
just fight or flight, and you're not thinking properly because we keep throwing fear at you. No, you're crazy for thinking anything different. You're crazy.
Exactly.
You're murdering people.
Exactly. You grandma killer, you. Yes.
Come on.
No, like it's mass gaslighting as well, because even if you come
Mm-hmm.
back with actual, I mean, articles that have, I mean, science, peer reviewed evidence, whatever.
Yep.
Or if you, like, for instance, you find an image that was used in a newscast that is from the Walking Dead TV show set, and you can
Oh
prove
yeah.
it, and you could prove it, okay? No, I'm sorry, you're crazy. That didn't happen. Oh, nothing to see here. It is complete gaslighting, making
Yep.
people second guess their own sanity, what they're seeing. Is this real? Is it not? And then that's another aspect to this too, is mass confusion. Nobody to trust, nowhere to look, nowhere to go. Oh no, I have to rely on myself, which most people haven't even been taught to do, because they were put into an institution where they were put in a box and told to only understand what is told to them from a book or professor with a PhD. They have no idea how to rely on their own intuition or knowledge that is intuition based, or you do your own research. You have to be your own advocate. You can't rely on outside sources all the
That's right.
time.
That's right. Well, you have to, yeah, because you will get that ping, right? And
Hmm.
a lot of people, during the work that I've done over the years, I've seen this in myself as well, is we get afraid to get in touch with that side of things, with that real deep, place where, yeah, if I were to talk about this, people would think I'm a crazy,
Right.
loony MFer, right?
Right.
And all of us have those thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Some of us run from them because
Hmm.
that is part of us. That is part of us. It's there for a reason.
Hmm. Right.
It's, I truly believe throughout my experience as a shaman, or anyone kind of dealing in the ethers, right? An energy
Yeah.
worker, whatever you want to call it, light worker, many
Right.
names for the similar kind of work. It's that when you let go of that fear and you gain a deeper understanding, and are willing to go deeper,
Hmm.
you see a lot more, and you do gain more peace through knowledge. Of course, you see more. So
Hmm.
that's scary. And oh my God, what the hell did I just see? You know, or what am I experiencing right now as far as feelings? Like when this whole big deal, you know, this nutso virus came out, you know, who was it called? A cuckoo virus. That was a perfect name.
Yeah.
But I could feel that fear. And a lot of people could feel that collective fear. And it was being harvested. It was being cultivated.
Oh yeah.
You know, the same way we can cultivate beauty and good health in our life and good experiences and manifest, you know, what we need in our life and want in our life. You can do the same thing on the opposite scale. It's like Darth Vader's doing it right now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's basically what's going on. And there's too many inconsistencies. I'm not saying it's, you know, I'm not going to even go into that argument of real, not real. That doesn't even matter.
No, it doesn't.
But there's too many shady things going on during this time and before. That, let's just take the whole wearing the mask and, you know, let's all wear the mask. Let's take that out of it.
Okay.
So many surveillance things being set up right now. They've got contact tracing, which is good, I guess. We all should be tracked, right? No, we shouldn't. But, I mean, that's my opinion. But
yes,
we're already tracked online enough by Google, by our phones. They track us already. They already were. They have been for a long time. That's what Edward Snowden was telling us, right? And I think it's crazy. Like most people will just look at that fear. Oh my God, look at over there, that fire over there. Well, these guys are over here looting the freaking bank and stealing everything that a bank has in it, right?
Exactly.
And metaphorically speaking, and actually literally speaking, but it's actually happening. I mean, how many trillions of dollars did the banks just get?
Oh yeah, it's actually happening. It's been happening for a long time too. We've been kept in a little bubble of bliss.
La la la, everything's okay. Let's all live at Disney World.
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, okay, that's personal. Not for me. Not for me. It's not.
Right.
But yeah, it is happening way too often. You know, like one of the things that I feel is happening when nobody's looking is because of the certain mandates that are in place and requirements and fear mongering and advice, our immune systems are being destroyed. And our little bugs are becoming stronger. So this is something that I see happening that I feel is kind of happening under the radar, that a lot of people aren't really understanding how our immune systems actually work. And that's upsetting to me. You know, I don't want to get into the mask
Debate.
Whatever. You know, the great mask debate. There's a time and place for everything.
If you change that wording around a little bit, it could be a totally
right.
Anyway,
exactly. I'm trying to reword it a little bit so it doesn't go down that road. There are quite a few things happening underneath the collective radar that are upsetting and very obvious to me and folks, you know, like us that see not only the energy. For me, it begins with the energy. I get a feeling this isn't right. Then I proceed to do my own research. I don't just fall for what I see.
Right, and then just spit it out. You take some time to do your due diligence. Just look at enough information. Yeah, right.
Exactly. I have a family that I love dearly, and I want to make sure that they are safe and healthy, just like everybody else. I want to know what is going on. Okay, I don't want to just. I've had many experiences in my life where my mind has been messed with by people that my intuition told me they were, you know, gaslighting, whatever,
manipulating you.
Yeah. And by doing my own research and watching very carefully, I managed to save a lot of feelings and even lives and in certain instances. I'm talking in a circle kind of because I'm trying to avoid.
I know it's really tough, isn't it? It's tough to not like just come right around full circle. And I don't want to, because I want to be sensitive to everyone.
Right.
But I will, if something is off to me, and that's always been like with religions, that was always off to me because it was like, we follow this way, only go this way. I'm like, no, that's not for me. I mean, I knew that from age 2, probably 3, you know, when I had any kind of real conscious thought as a human, and I could listen. I just knew there was, I mean, if there's nothing wrong, I went to church. There's nothing wrong with people that go to church, but I don't walk because somebody tells me to walk in that direction, in that exact way. I've always been that way. And I think in a lot of ways it's gotten me in trouble, right? Being a rebel for things that just seem like pure bullshit. Right. And I've learned over the years, there's certain things you argue about and there's certain things you don't, you know, choose your battles. But I do feel like it's important. There is a spell being put on this world right now through correspondence through our correspondence that we're receiving, right? So all of that television that's coming at us is telling us, and you see it everywhere. I mean, it's like, we don't know. Like it's very insulting. It is. They think that people don't know. No, they know that people know. They're going to keep pumping it, though. That's called propaganda.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of people getting rich right now. Bill Bates, I'm not going to say his name, but, you know, if you mix it around, you know, Plump, Mr. Plump and Gil Bates, these two have like made a little deal with a whole other company for get those vaccines. I mean, come on, people, do you not see that this is the kings and the queens mocking the masses?
Exactly. And
I hate to go that far. I mean, I'm going full on it, and I don't mean to do it, but I'm passionate. I'm passionate about the people. I'm passionate about people getting out of this slumber we've been in for thousands of years. Because of this similar kind of stuff happening. You know, we're in the techno world now, so it's all about techno world. I feel like I need to start dancing. Anyway, we're in the technocratic kind of, or under technocratic leadership right now. And they're just doing it a different way. But this stuff has been going on throughout history, right? And you spiritualists out there, if you search enough, and you shaman out there watching, you search your heart enough and you actually pay attention, you'll start to see and you'll remember that kind of stuff that's been thrown at you all throughout your lifetimes. I mean, that sounds crazy, but I'm talking to the weirder spiritual people.
No, it's not crazy.
You know, people like me and you.
No, it's not crazy at all. In fact, my oldest was telling me this morning, she's like, Mom, I don't know what it is, but I know when things are right, you know, when things I hear are right, when things are wrong. And she's like, and I feel like I've been through this many, many times, not just in this life. And I was like, you're exactly right. And to be honest, I took her out of school 2 years ago. And since then, she has steadily been able to use her intuition and her extra senses. I mean, especially lately. And I'm noticing.
Well, I mean, look who her mom is. I mean, of course she's going to. Well, she's not going to get away without using it.
Right. Well, she kind of fight, you know, because I'm her mom. She kind of fights it a little bit, you know, my mom, you know, like, but no, her and many of her friends who have also been out of school for a while, which is actually kind of a positive outcome of this recent, you know, the school shutting down. A lot of her friends are becoming very spiritual, and they are doing their own research regarding a lot of the theories that are going on in the world right now, and they're finding
Yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Like, we come from a generation of like that first generation of like, no more bullshit.
Right? No more.
We hit like our 30s, we were like, okay, just watching the big show, because we've been watching it all our lives and we knew it. But a lot of Gen Xers are really the ones, you know, we raised the Z generation, and these kids are like, they know a lot, but they are still very impressionable, right? They can be led down certain paths, especially right now, because they are in there and they have that passion and that drive behind it, which I'm loving.
What I'm
But be careful where they're being swayed. So,
exactly.
there are mothers out there that you're allowing your kids to go to certain protests or whatever. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Find out who's backing these protests. Find out
Exactly.
who's actually donating to these protests, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
find a lot of political behind it.
Yes.
A lot of
Oh.
political organizations,
Mm-hmm.
with a D behind it, or a R,
Mm-hmm.
wherever. It's just, don't, be careful what you're getting because I know that there's going to be a lot of kids out there that want to protest, and they
Mm-hmm.
want to protest for the right reasons,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing that
Yes,
is
do more research, find out what these movements are about, because there are
mm-hmm.
some color revolutions going on right now that are really, they are staged.
Yeah. Oh.
There's no doubt about it. They're created by the biggest donors in the world, mega
Right.
donors. I mean,
Right.
there's flat out already Disney.
Mm-hmm.
There's all these big companies. You can see them all donating to certain movements. It's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem we're having, is them co-opting everything and taking it all from the masses and from the people.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
be careful not to get tricked with their game of 3-card money, basically.
Exactly. And a lot of young kids are Generation Z are seeing between the lines. From what I'm hearing from my daughter, a lot of kids are practicing manifestation skills, meditation, and working with the body's energy and all that stuff, which is like incredible news. Incredible news. The only thing I'm seeing that is making a huge difference and causing them to backtrack is the frequency that is coming off of their devices. It
Yeah.
it is harmful, and it's causing like a like a shut off, like I don't want to say zombie because that's a silly word, but
No, but they've been preparing us for this, haven't they?
right,
Look at all the
right, right.
zombie content that's been coming out over the last
Mm-hmm.
30, 40 years. This is all slow played, demoralizing the public and the people, and just putting them under a spell. And that's what it's like, a constant spells. If you're told something, especially if it's by somebody you trust, you're going to believe it, right? And if you're told over and over and over and over again, you're going to fight for that.
Right. Which what I think is really incredible right now with all this stuff going on and so much being revealed, and that there really is no place to find the truth, is that yeah, exactly, those platforms or people that we used to go to, that we trusted so wholeheartedly, are absolutely not trustworthy anymore.
Right.
So
it's exposed a lot of people. Yes.
yeah,
For me at least.
Same. I'm extremely grateful, honestly, for what is going on. I see the purpose of it. I see the necessity of it, and it is necessary because this. I want to use some bad words, but I'm not going to. This event.
It's the Shaman podcast. We can say what we want to say.
All right, this fuckery has gone on for far too long. Seriously,
That's right.
I am so over it. I know so many that are, and I see the pendulum swinging the other way. It is heavier on the side of awakening than not, and a lot of really amazing stuff is going to be exposed and also brought to the surface that we've had in the works to be used for different types of healing and education and everything else that hasn't been allowed to be utilized up to this point because of those that are up in those regions of power, whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's basically the power structure, is using everything they have control of, which is pretty much everything. They have the money and the power. But the only way they can have power over us, and there are social engineers that want to make you a certain way. That's a fact. There's no argument about that. There are such things as social engineers, and they're working very hard now
to keep
us
hard.
Locked in our cage, such as our little echo chamber that we have in this relationship that we have with mainstream or people of leadership in leadership roles that have no problem lying to us every day.
No.
It's important that everybody understands that and does use that discernment and that inner kind of ping. You'll get it. Everybody gets it. A lot of us ignore it, right? But we'll get that inner ping, and then you start questioning it. Then you're like, okay, why am I getting that? I've sat on this for months, right? And I get the same answer every time if I don't argue with it and allow it. And it's the answer that's not of the popular side, right? So I look like, to a lot of people that are just paying attention to surface and not really doing their own due diligence and looking into things and actually finding out a lot of indiscrepancies, because as a psychic, that's what I do. I read a lot of patterns.
Exactly.
I see things in patterns. And if I keep seeing patterns happen, I start to notice, why is this pattern keep showing up, right?
Right. Yep.
That's how I do everything. I trust myself more than I probably trust anybody. And I know I can lie to myself as well.
Exactly.
Right. And knowing that and still having that feeling of, I don't know. It's tough. It's having that feeling that everything's like we're in the upside down world.
We are. It's
we're all children of Oz.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy right now, and if you don't have a strong constitution, you're going to feel like you're slowly losing your mind.
Yes. Which is actually, in turn, I would argue, is actually another positive thing coming from this, because it's waking a whole bunch of people up, like a lot. I'm noticing, like I was telling you about TikTok, these kids, like you'll see like the celebrities on there, right? And all due respect, they're great at what they do, but you see them on there redoing or reenacting one little scene from their movie, right? That was written by somebody else. And then you see these kids or these people on there that are just doing it, and they're doing from start to finish, the writing, the filming, all of them and maybe a couple other people, and doing amazing things, right?
Yes, very
that
amazing
aren't getting
things.
the money and aren't up there and living in mansions. They're just being creative and they're expressing themselves. And it's
exactly.
If I sit on there too long, it's hilarious. It makes me laugh. Like anything that can share that kind of energy is good to me. It's positive to me.
Yes,
right?
I agree with you. Yes, any type of expression that is authentic is incredibly powerful. And I see that happening so much right now with a lot of people, especially the younger generation. But I'm also, I don't know, I am seeing a lot of people that wouldn't normally like that call me a conspiracy theorist or wooey or whatever the hell you want to call it. I've dealt with that my whole life. I've seen spirits and freaking things I know you would understand. But since I was a baby, I've always expressed it. I've always told people about it. And I've always had those people that are like, I think we need to get you in to see somebody, honey. Like this.
Right.
I am used to that. And honestly, everything that's happening right now, I would hope that to the spiritual community and to those that are in touch with their intuition and the plane of existence around them, that they're highly aware of the dots that are not connecting and the patterns, like you said.
Yes. Before projecting and coming out with any kind of rhetoric, make sure you've done your due diligence on both sides, on every angle of it, or as many angles as you can, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep. Like, oh God, I could get into like some, I have a personal acquaintance that came out with some news yesterday that just confirmed again the test inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, I see it all unfolding in layers before it even happens. So to me, nothing that's happening is even surprising, not even a little bit. Any of it. What surprises me is the lack of action that people that are aware, that
speaking
doctor
about it.
Yes, people that are not, that are in a credible position,
right.
with deep knowledge and personal experience every day that are not taking that action to say, look, this is actual bullshit. I've experienced it for myself, and I know there's a big fear there. The whole shame game that's going on right now is insane. But I mean, there comes a point where you got to make up, but you have to like recalibrate your moral compass. You know, come on. I mean, people's lives are being lost here unnecessarily in multiple situations, and all that people are.
Different ways, and that's the thing, is obfuscate. So there's all kinds of inconsistencies. There's doctors speaking out about marking people with COVID that don't have it.
Right.
Oops, I just said the word. Right, and they're marketing with something, they may have pneumonia, and they're just marking it. There's tests that are coming out, like sometimes in some cases, certain shipments, like you were talking about earlier, most of the shipments 100% positive tested for COVID, because they're using, I don't know for sure, but it's almost like they're using COVID in the tests to, because there's a lot of money behind this. People need to understand how much money and how much power is being gained and wielded right now. Whether it's let's say it's real, right? Let's completely. There's no argument about it, right? Let's just put ourselves there.
Let's do it.
There is still fuckery going on all surrounding this. Like there is being used for so many things. How come there was a COVID plan to pay people a month before we heard about it?
Exactly.
How does that happen?
It's a mystery. I don't know.
I mean, you gotta pay it think about these things, and some people will never. Some people will never look into it further because they'll just trust that leadership telling them something. Which we need to understand: we lie, they lie, everybody lies. Right? Some lie a lot worse than others.
Especially they're paid.
I try not to lie because that's just like it might be a white lie, like somebody asked me how they look, or stupid things.
Right.
But.
If you're,
but I still, I mean, I've learned that lying, it really takes you backwards, right? And
you're lying to yourself.
You're really lying to yourself. So did you? So let's. We're gonna finish up here. But did you want to talk anything more about, or kind of finish up on, and like maybe a last message, or actually I didn't take any questions yet. So does anybody have any questions? I don't want to hurry and rush it off if we still have some people that want to ask questions or want to, I think everybody's doing good. I haven't seen any questions. So
I did want to.
You want to just go ahead and continue and kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention one thing. I just want to mention one more thing. That is also a red flag to me is the fact that they're not allowing loved ones in to advocate for severe cases. I have been an advocate for somebody who had like 5 different autoimmune diseases. They had a gaping wound. I'm not even kidding. It was about that big on their body. And they were highly susceptible to every and anything that was around. I mean, this person would get a fever if you sneezed on her. Okay. She did not have any family here. So I would go into the hospital to advocate, and they allowed me in. And not only that, they put me in PPE and go over the guidelines, for that situation. One of the most important things in the medical field is that people that are in a position that they cannot advocate for themselves, I thought it was like a right and a law to be able to go in and advocate for your loved one. The fact that they are not allowing people in to advocate for their loved ones, even though the nurses and doctors that I know are, they're not having to put on any other special PPE than what would be normally required. And so that's a huge red flag to me. I don't know if it's about money with the ventilators or what, but something shady is going on there. I have a few other theories about like doctors that were furloughed, but then yet busloads of doctors and nurses are coming in from other places. What? That doesn't even make sense. Okay,
Yeah,
but
there's a lot of reset going. There's a lot of reset going on right now,
there's
and
a
it's
lot
not
of
the kind of natural. It's not natural reset. That's
no.
for
No,
yeah.
it's not. No, it's not. And the people that are coming out are being shut up very quickly. And but there are snippets coming out here and there, and
Yep.
thank goodness, like people like you and I are able to put out information that can hopefully plant seeds in people's heads. But
Yes.
another thing I was gonna say is like with the tests, okay, like this person I know, they're in the medical field, they ordered a whole batch of sealed tests and sent every single one of them right back unswabbed. Every single one came back positive. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Why else would
You
they?
gotta allow these, and that's what I'm saying. Some people are always going to be in denial about it. Like it's
Yeah.
that movie, The Matrix, right? Some people don't want to leave the Matrix. They're comfortable in that
Right.
ignorance, right? But ignorance actually can. What's going to happen is if you don't open up to these things, the wolves are going to eat you first, right? And that's what we need to be careful with, because this is how it will go.
Yes.
The sheep will get let out. I don't call anybody sheep. I don't want to say that as a derogatory, but really, if you're able to be led so far because somebody's on TV or they're popular or they're mega rich, right? So they know it all.
Right.
And there are a lot of geniuses that are stupid.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. There are a lot of very stupid, smart people. And I think it's important that you keep that in perspective in these times.
Yes,
all right.
it is.
Things are going to be twisted. Not only what we're dealing with right now, it's going to get weirder. I mean, it's going to get weirder. There might be a fake alien invasion too. I mean, they're kind of prepping us for that one too. So, I mean, just by saying it, hopefully we cancel that out. But there's going to be weird things that because they have to keep raising the stakes because people are they're ascending in their thinking, they're evolving, right? Because of the information we have, we're able to kind of disseminate a lot of information really quickly.
Yes.
And they know that we're waking up. Waking up from that slumber. So thank you very much for being on today. If nobody has any questions, we will just stop it here. But you have a great rest of you guys' weekend. If you'd like to leave a donation, donations are down here just to kind of help with the show, right? And help with the equipment so we don't have another technical issue, which technical issues just happen. And we're in retrograde right now with 5 different planets. So you've got to come to expect it. Just slow things down a little bit, pay a little bit more attention. But y'all keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and really pay attention to that intuition. When it pings, it's pinging you for a reason.
Yes.
So much love to all of you. Y'all have a great weekend. Have a great night. Be safe out there. But, have a little fun.
Yes.
Take a little bit of risk. I think this week is good for taking some risk and getting the heart pumping. It's going to be almost feel like we're in the dark. I gave kind of something on TikTok. I'm giving energy reports. So if you want to check out my energy reports for the week, like energy forecasts, I always thought that we needed those, right? It's just like the news report, the weather report. Well, that energy is, it's something it plays similar effects on us. So
it does.
Yeah, check it out if you can. And check out Deanna Trujillo on your page, right? On your Facebook profile.
Yes, Deanna Trujillo on Facebook, or White Feather Spiritual Healing also is my business page.
Thank you very much, and I will have you back on. I'm sure you'll be back on soon. I hope.
Yes.
I love having you on every time. We get to have the best conversations. I agree. Love our conversations. So
me too.
I definitely will be bringing her back on if she wants to.
Yes. I love it. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night.
You too.
Goodbye, everybody. Peace.